Hello everybody, this is Kiran and today we are going to talk about smoke and sanity testing. This is a very commonly used term, smoke testing, sanity testing, all the testers hear about it all the time when they are actually working on a software while testing. So we'll understand what the difference is. So before understanding this diagram, let's go back and talk about the definition of smoke testing. Smoke testing simply means build verification testing. That is, in smoke testing, what you have to do, you have to only test the major functionality of the software. Imagine you got a build to test, and this build was mainly focusing on integrating a new payment gateway, which was Paytm. So if you're doing the smoke testing, and smoke testing is the first step. So when you're doing the smoke testing, you will only verify that whether Paytm is working fine or not. That means the build for which this new release has happened, the reason for which this new build has come to the testing team, if that itself is not working fine, we'll not do any testing, any further testing or any testing around that. So build verification testing, that is smoke testing. And sanity is about when we are doing a complete check to make sure that there is no failures left and any bug fixes or anything has not changed any stability of the system. In that case, we'll do a proper testing of all the functionalities, and that will be called as sanity testing. But smoke is majorly focusing on the build for which this new release has happened. So only the new changes. So you have to check the major functionality, and if at all it is not working, anyways we will not do any further testing. So to understand this quickly, you will see this diagram. So imagine this is a piece of code. It is having some 5 lines of code, and we did some changes over these 2 lines of code. Now when we are doing the smoke testing, we are actually verifying these 2 lines and making sure that at least that is working fine. If this is working fine, then we'll go forward and do further testing on it, which is the regression testing or system testing. But if these 2 lines itself are not working fine, we'll reject the smoke. We'll say again, if we are not going to move forward with the testing, then there will be a fix, and again we'll get the build, and then again we'll do the smoke, and once the smoke is passed, then we'll move forward with the further testing. Whereas sanity, when we are doing, we are making sure that all the functionalities in and out, they are working perfectly fine. So we'll see the difference in our tabular format also. So after receiving a software build with minor changes in code or functionality, sanity testing is performed to ascertain that the bugs have been fixed and no further issues are introduced. The goal is to determine that howsoever we are testing, we try to break the system and it is not breaking, right? So first let's go through this flowchart and understand, and then we'll see the tabular differences. Now what happens in smoke testing? You receive the build. So initially build 1, build 2, build 3. So build received when the software is in the build state and the unstable state. So it goes through initial smokes. So you have to do a health checkup to make sure that at least the critical functionalities are working fine or not. Yes, if it is, yes, then you go ahead with further system testing, regression testing, whatever is needed. But if at all here it fails, you are not doing any further testing, you're sending it back so that a proper fix is done, and then again you'll do the smoke, and then you make sure that the critical functionalities are working fine. And here in sanity, what happens when the build is very stable, then you're actually performing sanity to make sure the functionality and the bug fixes are all working fine in and out. Everything is perfectly fine, nothing is breaking. So that is the difference. Actually smoke is happening at the very initial phases. So I'll just quickly show you a tabular difference, smoke and sanity. So first pointer is about smoke is ascertaining the critical functionalities only. Sanity is basically checking new bug functionality or bugs, whatever we are testing. It is basically focusing on the new functionalities and bug. But smoke is about ascertaining the critical functionalities, whatever the build has been released for. Only those things will be tested. Build verification again. Now the second pointer is about Smoke is majorly checking the stability of the system, whether the build is stable at all or not, and whereas Sanity is testing the rationality of the system. So the entire system is working fine. You know, when you do more rigorous testing, even then it should not break. So that's about the difference of testing. Then there is smoke is a subset of acceptance testing. Why? Because acceptance testing is very much related to the clients. This is the last stage of testing in the phases of testing, when we see that unit, integration, system, and then acceptance. So acceptance testing is very close to the production. So smoke testing is again dealing with the stability, right? So it is very much a subset of acceptance testing, so that nothing breaks, right? Major functionality, critical functionality is not breaking, smoke testing. Whereas Sanity is a subset of regression. That is, in regression what we're trying to do, we're trying to make sure that the new things have not affected the already existing software and already running software. So Sanity is also a subset of it. Actually it is doing the same thing, that we're trying, and we're trying hard, and we're testing it so that it's not breaking. The system is very, very stable and it's not breaking. Whereas in Sanity, we are trying to break the system. We are testing using all methods, and we are doing a lot of rigorous testing, and make sure that nothing is breaking. So it's a subset of regression, whereas smoke is a subset of acceptance testing. So we can call smoke as a general health checkup, and Sanity is a specialized health checkup, because smoke is about complete stability. So it's a general health checkup. Everything is working fine. Whereas smoke, we are focusing on a particular area and testing it in and out. So it's about the specialized health checkup. So that's the difference between smoke and Sanity testing. So today we learned about what smoke testing is, what Sanity testing is. We did see the difference between the two. So that's all from today's session. In the upcoming session, we'll learn a lot about testing types. Thank you, everyone.